And finally, we are going to see some operators, okay, some operations that we can do with the variables that we have seen. Okay, so we're going to see the algebraic expressions for numbers, and then some some operations that we can do with strings, lists, and tuples. I forgot strings for well. Okay, let's see. We are going to see some operations. Okay, so if I define just like before. Okay, if I define here, I'm going to compute this. These variables x and y, which is 5 and 2, then I can do, well, these operations like just in any calculator. So I have, I don't know, x plus y to the 3, okay, to the power of 3. Notice that here, this is the way to do powers, okay? So here we have the base of the power, and this is the exponent, okay? And, well, this is x plus y, which is 7 to the power of 3, which is 343, okay? And we can do, well, we can do many algebraic expressions, okay? And the result of these, okay, if I write type here, is going to be an integer, because both x and y are integers. But in the moment that I use a floating point, then the result is going to be different. Okay, the result is going to be a float, because Python is going to transform inside this integer number into a floating point number, a decimal number. Okay. Well, and we can do this with numbers in the usual way. The thing is that we have the plus and the multiplication operators also with lists and with strings. Okay, so if we have this list, for instance, if we have this list, oh no, not list, I'm sorry, L. Okay, if I write this and you see here a different color, is because this is a reserved name of, well, it's not reserved, but if I write this list equal to 1, then I have a variable which is a list, which is called list, but I don't like using the names of types, because it's sometimes we need the name of the type, because if I want to transform something into a list, then I had to use this list over here, okay? But now if I try to do list of this thing over here, then it's not going to work, because list is not now the function but an integer, so it's not callable. Int object is not callable because list now is not the it's not the type of variable but the name of a variable. So I'm going to restart this, okay, from scratch. I will use again this. I'm going to define a variable which is going to be L from lists, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Now we have a list which has 3 elements, 1, 2, and 3, and now I'm going to multiply it by 2, L times 2, and this is going to return this list twice, okay, concatenated twice. If I write L times 3, then this is going to be concatenated 3 times, and so on. Notice that list is not changed, because I haven't assigned it to list. I mean, list is exactly the same variable that we had before. I'm just making operations with this variable. And also, if I have to list, for example, if I write L and I write plus 4, 5, 6, then the result is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. So it's going to extend. It's like using the command extend that we saw before. So this is exactly the same as L dot, well, it's not exactly the same, and we will see why. Okay, you see here that L has not changed. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3. And here when we make L plus 4, 5, 6, is going to return a new list with these 3 elements at the end. Okay, And if I do L dot extend 456, then what I'm going to obtain is, this doesn't return anything, okay, but what it does is that it changes the variable list, the variable that I had before, okay, the L variable. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like before, but this command didn't change the value of L, and this command changes the value of L. And yeah, more or less that's it. If we do this with characters and strings, it's more or less the same, okay? So if we have hello with a space and we multiply it by 5, then we are going to type hello, okay, 5 times, and even with the space at the end, you see hello, 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 and here I have the space at the end. And also we can add strings, okay? So if I say hello class John, then the result is not going to be very nice because there is no space here, so it's going to be hello John altogether without any space in between. So I have to write it properly, or with a space here, with a space here, or with a space here, okay? And another nice way, or another nice things about strings, this is a functionality that I use quite a lot, and we will use it sometimes with pandas, because the names of the columns of a data set, of a data frame in this case, they are strings. Okay, so let's see what happens if I try to do this. Okay, if I write this, I write hello John, how are you? Okay, and then, well, I can assign this to a variable s, okay, hello John, how are you? And I'm going to write s.split. Okay, split is a function, you can see here, split, separator none, max split -1, returns a list of the words in the string using sep as the delimiter string, which means that by default sep is any white space. Okay, so here I have spaces like blank spaces, okay? And if I do this s.split, then it's going to return each of these words separately. Another interesting functionality is using the lower and upper. Okay, s.lower is going to return the original string with lowercase. So everything is changed to lowercase. The things that were lowercase do not change, but John now is in lowercase, is written with lowercase. And I can define also this, okay, you don't know this. This means the end of caret, okay, change of caret. It's like when you had in the old typewriters, okay, you had something to change the caret to the next line. So this is what it means, okay? This is the next line, the separator for the next line. And if I write here \t, this \t is not going to write a t or anything like that, just like this thing is not going to write an n. This is going to be a tabular space, okay? So this is going to be a tabular space. So s, if I write it like this, is going to be this way, but if I write print s, then this is going to be a little bit different. You see that here the space between how and r is a little bit different, okay, because now we have a tabular inside here, inside this place, okay. And yes, you can see that here from this place, okay, I can go with one key with the arrows, okay, and here if I just press once, it's going to be just one tabular. And in the end I have here a change of caret. If I write this I'm doing this just by pressing the upper and the up key and the down key, okay, the up arrow and down arrow. So if I want to write, instead of here, the change of caret, I write it here. Okay, so this is not very comprehensible, but if I print this string, then it's going to be the change of line. Okay, the change of line is going to be here. Hello John, how are you? And that's it. Okay. Yes. Some other functionality. Well, if you want to change from well, if I use the split function here, dot split, without any separator, I'm going to obtain exactly the same list as before, because split by default, if we don't use any separating character, this is going to be using any space character. And this is a space character, this is a space character, and this is a space character. Okay, so all these spaces are understood for split, for the command split. If I want to split using the O, for instance, I can use also a large string here, so I can use OH, for instance, but I'm going to use just O. Then this is going to split this using the O, and the O disappears, of course. Okay. Let's separate with O, with H, okay? And now I have only the John, okay, because it's the only expression, is the only OH in the string that goes, well, that is inside the string, okay? And we have several commands here with strings. We can see if there is some well, we will see later, okay? If we need more information about this, we can also use the in command, okay, that allows me to search for a specific sequence inside the string, but also inside of lists. So if I use lists or sets or dictionaries, okay, the keys of a dictionary. So if I use I don't know, remember the list L, okay, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I want to know if number 7 is in L, then this is going to be false, because number 7 is not in L. But if I write 3, then it's going to return a true. And so on. I can do that also with the string, okay? In this case, this gives me an error because a string requires a string as a left operand, and this is an integer. So if we write here instead of this, if we write this, then this is going to give a false because there is no 3 inside this string. Okay, and if I write John, lowercase, this is going to be false because John here is uppercase. So if I want to know if John is in s dot lower, this is going to return true, because when we transform this to lowercase, then this John is going to be in lowercase, just as this John over here is. Okay, so this is quite useful to know if well, this functionality is also quite useful, yeah. And that's it. That's what we're going to see about operators today, and we will see what we do next week. In the class today, you will do some exercises about this, okay?